everyone, Melissa here. So I've been meaning to do this this chrome video for a while now, where I go over some different options for chroming and kind of the difference in the look, the application, and what's best for what. And also with different types of materials being chromed. So I have a dip powder. It's like a shimmer that can be chromed. I have pure chrome pigment. I have a foil dip powder that can be chromed, and then I have just regular mermaid glitter. So this is more of like a burnish. But I'm gonna go through and I will show you all of these things. I'm gonna start with my no wipe gel top coat. This must be cured. I'm gonna be using double dip powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all 4 of these with UV gel first. Okay, so to start off these swatches, I just have 1 dip of black on each of them, just to give an even base coat for all of them so they can be compared equally. For the UV gel, it's very easy. I'm gonna do a coat of this. Now, if you're applying it over your dip powder manicure, you may want to apply a dip base coat, cure for 60 seconds, and then apply your no wipe gel top coat, just because some gel top coats will peel off without a base coat underneath. Just because it's for swatching purposes, I'm not doing the gel base, I'm just doing the gel top. So for each of these, I'm going to apply a gel top coat and I'm gonna cure them for 30 seconds. Okay, now all of these swatches are ready to be chromed. When you're applying this to your nail, you of course want to make sure you put a generous coat of the gel top coat on there to give the gel top coat a chance to self-level and make a nice smooth surface. If there are any bumps or bubbles in the gel, it will show bumps and bubbles in the chrome itself, which I have a couple here, but again, just for swatching purposes, I wasn't as careful as I probably should have been, or I would have been if it were on my nail. Now, the first thing I'm gonna show how to chrome is dip powder. So the difference between this and regular chrome is that your pigment is mixed in with the acrylic powder base. So you have to chrome past the powder, and you'll understand what I mean by that in a second. So this is a hollow chrome. I'm also doing this to show how linear, like the linear chrome, or the linear hollow design holds up with each of these chroming methods. So I just dip it in there. I like to put it in. I like to use my finger when I am rubbing in chrome, especially powder, because when you do, you can rub past the powder and rub the chrome in. Sometimes it takes some pretty vigorous rubbing. You've got to dip it in there quite a few times because you do have to get past the acrylic powder to get the pigment rubbed into the top coat. So if it doesn't seem like it's working right away, sometimes you just got to keep going in with it. Also, keep in mind that some lamps cure quicker than others. So if it's not quite working right, sometimes you want to try and cure just a little bit less. Like, I think that this might have over-cured in the center a little. Might have cured more than I needed it to for the chrome to finish, or to really get in there. So what I can do now is, since that didn't quite work, I can put another layer over the top of the gel, the no wipe gel coat, and try and cure it for a little bit less time so that it doesn't cure quite as much. So I'm going to cure for 20 seconds this time, and we're going to try again. Okay, so I just cured that for 20 seconds. We're going to go in here again with the powder and rub on. You have to be careful because it will start to kind of crumble off and it could go into your powder and leave those chunks. But it's okay. And it gives a nice linear hollow effect. We're gonna go to next the pink hollow chrome here, which is by Double Dipped. Don't think she's selling it at the moment, but I believe she still has some, so she always can sell more. This pure chrome is going to be the easiest to chrome. You're not going to have to fight through anything. You just kind of get a little on your finger and rub it on. And it chromes up beautifully. No fussing, no fighting, no nothing. And I don't know if you can see the linear effect on this, but it also has a bit of a linear hollow effect. Next, we are going to chrome our foil. Now, not all foils can be chromed. This is very important to understand. A lot of companies have foil dip powders. Not all of them can be chromed. There are special ones. They're usually more expensive. They are premium that can be chromed. Dragon's Lair by Double Dipped is one of them. So is Abracadabra. Her Tornado can be chromed. And Jaded, I believe. It may, since that one was too overcured, I may have to redo this top coat also, but we'll see. Oh, no, that's going on there all right. And you just rub it in. And again, like with the powder, you're gonna have to rub past the acrylic base that's in there and really try and work with these foil pieces to get them to stick onto the dip. But a little bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease, and you can get that on there. And because these are chameleon flakes, they give a really cool chameleon, you can see it starting there, a really cool chameleon chrome effect. I think this is probably the one that is going to not work as well with the other two chroming methods, but we will see when we get there. Okay, so there's your chameleon chrome from the foil flakes. And finally we have our mermaid. So mermaid powder is like a very fine glitter, and it's iridescent. It gives a really cool look. So when you chrome it in, it's not a mirror chrome, not super smooth, but it gives a really cool look. What you want to do with the mermaid first before you start to rub is press it in. This may be overcooked. This, yeah, certainly overcooked for this. Okay, so we're gonna cure this for 20 seconds also. Okay, so we're gonna press her in and then just give it a light rub. Kind of flattens those tiny little glitter guys down. You start to rub it off in areas, dip back in, press down. And it gives a really cool, different kind of finish than your traditional chrome does. Okay, and for these, I will top coat with gel and cure for 60 seconds. Okay, while those are baking, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the next top coat method. I'm going to be using the Sally Hansen Miracle Gel Step 2 top coat. Any water-based top coat you have or know of will work for this, but it has to be water-based. Gotta clean off our surface here. Okay, I'm going to top coat these one at a time because you have to have them dry for a very particular amount of time for it to work properly. If you let it dry too much, it won't work. If you don't let it dry enough, it won't work. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the first top coat here. I'm gonna let it dry for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Okay, you want it to be not really sticky, but still just a little tacky. That way you know it's kind of in between the wet and set phase. And we are just going to try doing this kind of the same way we did before. Just going to rub it dub and try and rub past the powder to get just the pigment in. Now this is far more difficult with this method because the powder tends to really stick into that top coat, that nail polish top coat. So that's why this method doesn't work very well for chroming dip powders. Now there are going to be some dip powders that are so heavy on the chrome or shimmer pigment that it will work. It will work pretty well and it's not going to be a big struggle. But I wanted to give it the most difficult test, which is a linear hollow, because those really have to be chromed on perfectly to give the effect. And you can see it a little bit kind of at the bottom. You can see a little bit of the linear hollow, but this is not coming out the way that we want it to. It is not really picking up that hollow pigment the way you would want it to. So this method is not ideal for chroming dip powder. Now let's do the next swatch and try our pure chrome. Again, gonna let it dry for about 1.5 minutes. Okay, so this is again, this one is also just between that wet and set place. So I'm going to just put a little bit of this chrome on my finger and we're going to just rub her in. Okay, and that looks nice. Again, pure chrome is always going to be the most forgiving and the easiest to do anything with, because there's nothing in the way of the pigment getting really into that top coat and giving it that chrome effect. This doesn't quite get as much of a mirror shine as the gel effect does, but if you're trying to avoid UV, it's not a bad option. Okay, next, let's close this up because it's a mess. So let's work with the foil. I am not super optimistic about this one, but you know, I have been wrong. So I'm gonna put this on, give it that 1.5 minutes, and then we will play with the foil and see how this works. Okay, so let's get in here and see what happens. I'm just going to see if any of the foil sticks right away. Oh, well, pick some up and really rub that in there. Okay, this, I didn't give you enough credit, Little Miss Miracle Gel, that's for sure. this is working. This is working actually pretty well, and that's exciting to me. So, oh yeah, this is really pretty actually. This is working really well. All right, so color me shocked over here, but that turned out really beautiful. Turned out really beautiful. That chameleon look chromed on there really well, and yeah, that's great. It's good to know that that is an option. And finally, we are going to try out the mermaid powder. So I'm gonna do it one last time, one coat, 1.5 minutes, and I'll be right back with this. Okay, I'm actually stopping this one at closer to 1 minute just because I feel like the mermaid powders work a little bit better when they are slightly under cured. So I'm going to go ahead and dip this in and see how this works. So once again, just pressing in first. This is technically burnishing, burnish different kinds of glitters with this same method, even larger ones, and then just gently rub. You don't want to rub really hard with this or you will rub the glitters off the top coat, as some of it is coming off. But we will, before the top coat sets too much, get more on there and press it in. So if this top coat sets too much, these glitters will not stick. Okay, that worked pretty well. Again, you know, spots where it dried, those glitters just didn't quite get on there before we could press them in. But that's okay. This one you just let dry a little bit less if you're doing a mermaid. Okay, and then for these, I will top with, if you're not using gel, you can just go ahead and top with your Miracle Gel top coat again as your final top coat, or any other special shiny taco that you like would work great. This poor hollow swatch did not come out beautifully. Just didn't, but that's okay. This is why we're testing these things. This one is all right. This one is great. Okay, now I'm gonna get myself set up for our final chroming method. Okay, the final chroming method I'm gonna be testing to compare is with this Tack-It over and over adhesive. It's a craft adhesive. And for this, I've done a video on this before when I was kind of testing it out. And I have these little bottles, and you mix them half and half with Tack-It and water, and then just shake it up really well. And this is what you're going to use to apply the chrome. So what you do is apply a layer of this to the nail over your dip, and then you're gonna let it dry. You will know it dries because it will turn clear. Okay, now once all of the white is gone off of those, it has dried. So the glue is completely clear, then you can start chroming. I like to wait just a little while after that last piece of white kind of goes away to make sure that it's good and dry. But after that, you're good to go. So let's start with, once again, this guy that is causing us all this trouble today. This hollow chrome. So I'm just going to do the same I've been doing, dunk the swatch itself in there, and then just start rubbing in. Again, we're having to rub past the dip powder itself. It appears as though I might be rubbing off the glue. This may have been one of the worst decisions I made, deciding to use this as my test powder, because there are so many that chrome so much better than this one. It gives some trouble. You can see you're starting to see it there though. So I mean, it takes some work, but it's going through. Let's say, but you really gotta put some elbow grease in there to get it to go past the powder so that the pigment goes into the glue. That is giving me a headache. Okay, let's move on and chrome the pink hollow chrome. This always makes me feel better. This one just plays nice. Every time. So this definitely gives more of the mirror effect, more of the mirror chrome look than the Miracle Gel did. So this gives it more of the mirror look than that one did. Far more similar to the gel chrome look. And next we're going to do the foil again. So I'm gonna see if anything sticks this way. A little, something to work with. And start rubbing in. We're getting some. This is not working as well as the Miracle Gel did for the foil. I don't know if it's because it is like tackier, because it's a glue, it automatically pulls that powder in. So if you get a larger powder content, then it's going to really stick into that glue. But the parts that are going on there are giving a nice mirrored look, but it's definitely not, it's just not pulling that foil in the way the other two did. And finally our mermaid, which I have worn mermaid chrome with this stuff in a mani before, and I loved how it applied. I loved that I was able to top it with dip liquids instead of gel, because the mermaid chrome doesn't have that chrome effect that can be messed up by the dip liquids, the dip top. And this mermaid powder just sticks into this foil gel really, really well, or this foil glue. I called it foil glue, it's not foil glue, but no, maybe it could be used for foil glue. There has to be something else I'll test. All right. Cover that spot. And again, this is pure mermaid powder. There is no dip powder mixed into this, so that's why it's going on so easily. If there was dip powder mixed in with this mermaid powder, it would not go on as well. Okay, so these are the finished. Not very pretty. That's okay. If I have to give my final verdict for each method and which I think is best for each one, for chroming with dip powder, clearly the gel is best. Your see gel on the left here, there's your Sally Hansen Miracle Gel, and then your Tack-It here. So I'd say gel's the best, then Tack-It, then Miracle Gel last. If it were a different kind, like something like this one where it's really, really, really heavy on the shimmer pigment, it would probably chrome better on the Tack-It, because I have had success with chroming dip powder on Tack-It before. But for sure, with dip powder, gel is your best friend, followed by Tack-It, and then Sally Hansen. For pure chrome, your gel is once again going to be number one. I think your gel is going to be number one in all of these situations. But if you're trying to avoid gel, your Tack-It is going to be your second choice for a nice mirror finish. It does give that nice clean mirror finish, whereas the Miracle Gel or the water-based top coat is going to have a little bit more of a patchy look. It's not going to be quite that mirror shine, but gel has your best mirror shine, of course. For the foil, I was pleasantly surprised in how well the Miracle Gel worked for it. It still doesn't give a mirror finish. You still see the chameleon look, but it doesn't give the mirror finish the way the gel does, or even just that tiny bit you can see of the Tack-It gives that mirror look. But again, this would be best for foil, and then probably I would say the Miracle Gel second best, considering this didn't quite pick it up due to the powder mixed in. However, if you are chroming a foil that is not mixed in with powder, this will be your second choice. And finally, your mermaid. Again, your gel is going to be your best. I would say your Tack-It second best, and then this is the Tack-It. Hello, switch you. Okay, UV gel best, Tack-It second best, and the Miracle Gel top coat third best. Although it's very similar for all three. It's really, it's a much more forgiving chrome look as far as application goes. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. And if you have any other questions or suggestions or something else you want me to try or compare, feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to do these kind of things. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.